Good morning, my friends. How are you? Or good evening, whatever part of the day it is, wherever you live in the world. I'm Leonie Featherstone, and this is my time to share with you the wisdom of essential oils. My business is called Sense of Empowerment, and that's because I believe my purpose in life is to empower others to be the best they can be, and not just others. I'm always empowering myself to be the best I can be. And that's a learning journey. It's an ongoing learning journey, something that I work on every minute of the day. And so thank you for being with me today. Please, I'd love to know who you are. There is a tendency when we're doing these shows is to think that we're just talking to ourselves. So pop a comment in, say hello, tell me where you're from. If you're using an oil, love to know what oil you've got on this morning. And let's just get into today and have fun talking about essential oils. I'm very passionate about people and their emotions, and so I focus a lot on that side of the oils. But let's just talk about why essential oils. Hi, Karen. Good to have you on. Why are essential oils in this spiritual space? Well, essential oils are amazing, amazing tools to have with us because they are gifts of nature. They harmonize beautifully with our bodies. And if we are to be able to be the best we can be on a holistic level, we need to ensure that our body is functioning on a physical level in a powerful whole way. Essential oils can help us with our physical needs. When we are feeling more well in our body, we are able to start dealing with our heart issues, with our emotions. When we can deal with our emotions, which essential oils do so beautifully, we can then let go of limiting beliefs that are holding us back from really exploring our true spirituality and who we are meant to be on this planet. And so essential oils are beautiful tools to actually help us tap into our spiritual awareness. And that's the platform that I come from, using them in a holistic way. Good morning, Doralinda. What a beautiful name. Clydesdale, Victoria. Oh, you hearts go out to everyone at the moment, particularly Victorians. Hi, Sue. How are you? Oh, Sue Robin Johnson. I'm not sure who it is, but hello anyway. Okay, so what am I here to do? What I love to do is share the wisdom of the oils. I love to bring in some of my own life wisdom as well. And hopefully you can chat with me about what's going on in your life. I can maybe give you some suggestions for that. I will only touch superficially when I'm dealing with you on here because sometimes things are really personal and I love to do that one-on-one. So I would love it if you would like to come on a little oily exploration with me. Pop your details down and there or just say, yep, love to have a chat with you, Leonie. And when the show's finished, I'll connect with you and we can explore further into what's going on in your life. And I can give you some suggestions of how these oils or which oils will support you. That is one of my passions. So secondly, I will need you to interact with me. I need you to chat and give me some comments and give me some heads up on how you're relating and if I'm helping, etc. And then I want you to, if you're interested, ask me to draw a card for you and I will draw one of our beautiful oil cards and share my interpretation of what that means for you based on what I know about the oils and just about how I feel about it at the time. So that's what I have for you today. What I want to touch on briefly today, and we can expand on that, I like to have a bit of a topic to center us. And today I was looking at sense of disappointment because I feel there is so much going on in the world and so often we can be disappointed by events, people, whatever, and that can take us into a lower state, which is not going to serve our health and our overall wellness. So I want to explore that. But first of all, before we do that, I want to take you on a little journey just so we can relax and release any of that stress that's been building up. So talking about disappointment, many, many years ago as a youth, I was part of the Duke of Edinburgh program, which is, it has a bronze, silver and gold award level. Hi, Fiona. And part of it was service, part of it was some sort of physical activity, and there were other categories. And it was a really great, like a personal development tool for youth. And I can remember doing my bronze and my silver, and I didn't get to do the gold because I actually had some illness at the time. So that was like a little bit of I felt like a bit of a failure. I felt like I was disappointed that I didn't do it. So I've worked through that, and I will come back to that later, but it reminded me of a particularly beautiful aspect of that program. One of the activities I did was I actually kayaked around Lake Julius out in the Mount Isa region with my brother and my girlfriend, who went on to become his wife. And I want to just ask you just to be still. I want you, if you like, close your eyes, and I want you to come on a journey with me. I want you to come to your senses. And this is my whole platform, is that when we can tap into our senses, we can be still, we can be, and we can really start to listen to our inner voice and to take heed of what it's trying to tell us. So pretend you're a teenager again, if you're not, and you've arrived at the lake and you've got your canoes and you've got to be in that canoe and on land for the next 2 days, self-sufficient. So at one particular time, here we are, guys, we're in this canoe and we are floating along this little waterway that's off the lake itself. Imagine, if you will, looking up through the dappled leaves and seeing the sunlight filtering through. Seeing birds sitting in the trees not far from you, not frightened because you're just sliding silently across the water, through the weeds, hardly making a sound. What colours can you see? What are the birds? Are they big birds? Are they little birds? And what can you touch? Perhaps you can feel the rough wood of the oars in your hands as you are trying ever so quietly to dip them into the water, not making a splash so the birds aren't disturbed. What can you smell? Perhaps you're getting that beautiful eucalypt smell from the gum trees that are lining the waterway. Perhaps you can smell the sort of dampness of the weeds along the waterbank. What can you taste? Just run that saliva around your mouth. Get in touch with who you really are. Get into your senses. Maybe you're still tasting a little bit of the bacon and eggs that we cooked for breakfast. What can you feel? Are you feeling the peace, the stillness, being at one with nature? It's an incredible feeling. I remember just thinking, I am one with them. They don't even see me as a stranger, as that canoe slipped silently across the water. When we come into our senses, when we intentionally take note of our senses, it's amazing how we can suddenly start to be in the person we are meant to be and start being silent and listening to any voices that speak to us or feeling any disharmony that's in our body. So I hope you're feeling chilled after sliding through that waterway with me. Find your own practice. I would do it every day. Hi, Rashida. Every morning when you get up, find some way to relax and release whatever it is that's keeping you stiff. Do it many times during the day. When it comes to smell, I love using essential oils because this beautiful aroma can take us back to places that have been enjoyable for us. They can take us to a place, a time when we remembered how to be relaxed, how to be still, how to be happy, how to be joyous. And wouldn't that be a great way to start our day or continue throughout the day? So let's talk about disappointment. Have any of you had a time, have any of you got something going on at the moment where you're feeling a little bit disappointed? This is the same with any emotion, but you may not like what I'm going to tell you, but you've got to peel onions. Not literally where you're going to be your eyes are going to be streaming from the onion fumes. But my friends, we really need to strip back the layers when we're feeling an emotion, in this case disappointment, to see what really is causing it. And sometimes, yes, we may cry because we'll start to get to the truth of what's going on in our life. And so when I was disappointed about not being able to finish that program, I was disappointed more in myself because my physical body had failed me at that time. But then when I was able to just sit with that and realize that the actual illness was outside of my control, I made peace with that. So when we look at disappointment, hi, Doralinda, yes, I'd love a card. Yep. Awesome. Okay, I'll come to that in just a moment. What I just want to set up here a little bit is when you're looking at disappointment or frustration or whatever that emotion is, I have found in my case, I've had to dig deep and go, well, why am I disappointed? Am I disappointed because this person changed their mind or they let me down or, took advantage of me, whatever? And I have to examine it. So for instance, if was it because I didn't set clear enough boundaries? Quite often the disappointment comes back to me that I wasn't strong enough. I didn't set the boundaries. And so if it was a case of, wow, if I had set those boundaries, things may have been different. I can't change what happened, but I can going forward. So I actually feel empowered when I realize it's up to me. I'm not going to be affected by that outside force. I can actually change this. So if I decide what my boundaries are to be, and use essential oils that can help me to do that and other tools. But the essential oils that I would be looking at would be On Guard, which is our blend. It's a protective blend. And it's got amazing oils in there, wild orange, eucalyptus, rosemary, cinnamon, and clove. And that blend is like it helps us on a physical level, protecting us against, what's out there that could be affecting our physical body. But it also helps us guard off those energetic parasites that may be invading our world. So it helps us to stand strong in our own worth. Another oil that could be really helpful there is tea tree. Tea tree is a great one for energetic protection. And it's like, so often we have to go within to look at what's the part we played. So with tea tree helping us to, maybe look at, are we in a relationship that's not serving us? What are we doing? What is it about my belief about me that's actually allowing that to happen? And so maybe it's helping me to be stronger. So these are the sorts of thought processes that I believe we need to take. Terra Armor is another great blend to use. And often you'll see where the physical uses of the oils and the emotional make so much sense. They go together. So our Terra Armor is actually our blend that we use to ward off and repel insects. So if you think about repelling anything that's unhealthy or not going to serve your purpose. But we need to make that decision. We need to make that decision about what is unhealthy, what are our boundaries. And I believe that these are things that will help us avoid disappointments in the future. I think what are some of the other things I thought of? Sometimes we're disappointed because we didn't speak up at a time. And if you think about it, if I go back in my life, I remember being in a quest once and, we went in for the interview and you had to sell yourself. Well, I'd been brought up with strong humility. So it was like, I wasn't going to tell them all these great things I did. I kind of played it down. Well, I came second. So, I guess there was a bit of disappointment there, but when I looked at it, I looked for the lesson. And this is the thing, guys, I've had some amazing mentors in my life. And I think when you look for the lessons, you can be empowered by that. And this is what I'm all about, finding ways to empower me, empower you. So I realized that had I spoken up, had I had the, the ability to speak up and state my achievements, I maybe have had a different outcome. So, oils for that, I think spearmint to help us speak confidently. Spearmint can be quite, it's actually great for the digestive system. So sometimes we're not digesting information to allow us to speak. So you can see the connection there. And the other thing that I want to say is, at these times of disappointment, we must be gentle with ourselves. And so I think of lavender. Lavender's like having this beautiful, comforting blanket around you that just says, there, it's okay. I've got you. Be calm, be confident. Speak your truth. Your truth is worth speaking. And I think on that note, before I come to you, Doralinda, I do want to just, I picked a card for all of us based on this topic this morning, and it is the Comforting Blend. And we have a beautiful range of essential oils that are in these roller bottles that are actually diluted with fractionated coconut oil. So they're perfect for applying like perfumes. And so with these cards that I'm going to draw for you this morning, It tells you a little bit about the oil and the benefits, but also it will have some questions. And I want to go through it so that when I do draw your cards, you'll understand. So when we look at the comforting blend called Console, it's about helping us to release those feelings of sadness, of disappointment, of grief. It's also helping us to feel comforted, consoled, as the name says, and just to sort of bring that feeling of serenity from having released that weight, that heaviness. And then we have a centering thought. Now, here's the thing. We can ask ourselves questions. If we ask a question like, why do I always get disappointed? Your subconscious will come and fill that spot. It'll give you all the negative reasons why. Whereas if we flip the question and say, ask yourself a positive question, it will actually fill that space. So for instance, if we start with a centering thought, I accept the painful transitions in life as moments to reflect and learn that pain can be a great teacher. Now, the actual question is, instead of why am I always disappointed, it's why do I feel such peace and comfort? And so this is the process I want to take you on. So then we think, well, why do I feel peace and comfort? Because I have learnt my lessons. Pain has taught me these great lessons, that I need to set more boundaries, that I need to speak my truth, that I need to be confident in that my words have worth, etc. So that's the process there. So Doralinda, okay, I'm going to draw you a card, and then we will shifting a lot of deep limiting beliefs at the moment. Letting go, disappointment. Okay, so some of those ones perhaps may have helped Doralinda. I think when we'll see what your card comes up first. So you, my friend, have drawn coriander. So the emotional aspects that we want to release here, Doralinda, are insecurity. So you've got some deep limiting beliefs. I'm not sure what they are. You said disappointment is one of them. But, maybe you're not believing in yourself enough. Maybe you've got some doubt about your own worth. Maybe you're feeling let down by other people. And what this oil, coriander, is helping you to do is to pretty much saying, Doralinda, you're okay. You have to honor your own integrity. You have to honor your own worth. Excuse me. What we want to create here for you is confidence, and to know that you are worthy of living in alignment with your true value. The thought for you, Doralinda, as we have here on my beautiful set of cards, is I live a life of integrity. I honor who I am in all aspects of my life. I stand for truth. I find purpose in my life and my own capabilities. So maybe something's going on with you that maybe is causing you to question your own truth, to question your integrity. And this sometimes happens when people can, be in our face about things, and we can question. That's when we have to really be still and go into our inner being and listen to our voice, listen to our own intuition, listen to our own divine within. And your question is, why is it so easy for me to honor and believe in myself? So I hope that helps, Doralinda. Again, if you'd like to explore that deeper, just put a note there, because it's so much more than just a quick card and a quick interpretation. It's about peeling those layers, and I love doing that with people, just helping gently, as someone who honors you to take you on that journey within. Good morning, Janice. So if anyone else would like a card, please just pop your name down there and we'll do that as well. So what are some of the other things I was going to talk about? I've got a couple of little notes here because I wanted to make sure that we looked at what are some of the reasons that we aren't, maybe some of the reasons that we're disappointing ourselves, and maybe we are playing small. Rashida, you loved. Okay, well maybe we can talk separately afterwards, and we'll connect. And a card. Okay, so I'll do the card because I've lost my train of thought now. But this is good because I want to be of service to you. So particularly to what would be helpful if you pop in there any of the emotions you're currently feeling. Maybe we can talk about those. So Rashida, We have eucalyptus for you. Some of you may have been on the call when I actually said eucalyptus was my first experience with essential oils, because I grew up in the outback and our river rarely ran. It was such an exciting occasion when it did, and we'd jump in the back of the ute and Mum would drive down the river, and we'd be on the back, and you'd drive under the gum leaves and you'd pull a bunch of gum leaves down and we'd start chewing them. And the taste was foul. I don't recommend it, but we just loved the aroma. And when you think about looking back on life, and I think if I had known then, this shy bush kid that was pulling eucalyptus leaves would be here talking to you about essential oils and how they can help us. And this is what I love about my business. I've been able to help thousands of people, and those thousands have impacted tens of thousands of lives by sharing with people how to use essential oils as holistic tools in their bigger toolkit to support holistic well-being. So Rashita, eucalyptus. So with eucalyptus we often think about as the oil of wellness. And if you think about eucalyptus, we're so used to using that from a cleansing point of view, from a supporting the respiratory system point of view, but it's actually helping us to let go of anything that we're holding on that's kind of like not making us well, because we're frightened of moving forward in a particular direction. So we want to let go of feelings of defeat, of humiliation, and maybe you're feeling a little bit powerless. And so, what eucalyptus wants to, it's strong, it's really potent. And so it's saying, Rashida, you are strong. You are powerful. When you tap into your inner awareness, to your inner self, you can be well holistically and really, really conquer whatever it is you want to conquer. And so your centering thought, my friend, is I have the ability to heal and release the emotions that hold me back from moving forward. This is the thing, guys. So often we push down. Maybe we've come from a culture where, you have to be staunch. And this is something that I feel for a lot of our Aussie men, that it's like, man up. Well, no, we need to just be able to discuss our emotions in a safe place. And that's why I love taking you on a private journey. But we need to be able to do that and actually get out, because until we get out what's holding us back, there's no room for all the things that are going to help us expand. And so your question is, why is it so easy for my body to heal quickly and easily? Just let me know if that is meaningful to you. But yeah, let's go on another journey later. I would love to do that privately with you. So who else? Someone else asked me. Janice would like one too. Awesome. Hi, Janice. Where are you from? As I draw your card. So limiting beliefs there's so many different limiting beliefs. Now, here's the thing with peeling the onion. Sometimes you might think the limiting belief is, I'm shy. And believe it or not, guys, I was this really shy bush kid that if anyone came to town, there was only a tiny town, there was only 2 families, I'd run and hide under the bed. So things changed. You might think your limiting belief is being shy. But then when you dig deeper, well, why am I shy? And then you might start to uncover incidents and beliefs that led you to thinking you were shy, or that it was necessary to be shy. So I hope that's making sense. And these are the types of journeys we can go on. Okay, you have chosen attention blend, which is past tense. So Janice, please, I think I'm on track with Janice. I should actually write these down so that I make sure I'm talking to the right person. Janice, how are you? The tension blend. Okay, we call this past tense, and this is a beautiful blend. Oh, hang on a sec. I've just touched my computer and I've made you all really tiny, and I don't want that to happen. So let's get you all back. Sorry. I have to say I'm probably not the most technical, accomplished person, and, trying to look at cards and talk at the same time and press the wrong buttons. It's quite fun, but I'm not going to let that limit me, because I love chatting to you. So here we go, Janice. Okay, so often when I use this oil, so this may be you. So I'm thinking that right now you may be feeling that you're carrying a little bit too much weight of other people, of other things. You're feeling a little bit tense, and that I would suggest that you think about what it is that is weighing you down, or creating that tension and look at ways to let it go. This tension blend is amazing. It has oils in it like wintergreen, which is helping us to, again, it's one of those oils of surrender. So surrendering and just looking within and thinking, okay, what is my lesson? What is this tension, pain trying to teach me? What do I need to let go? So often, and this might be you right now, Janice, you're in Perth, fantastic. If you are feeling a bit weighed down, maybe you're feeling a bit scattered, this oil can help you to bring a bit of balance back. It can help to release that tension and bring you a little bit more peace and calmness. That's what we're looking for. So you're centering thought. I'm just wondering whether you're a bit of a go-go girl that doesn't take a lot of time out for self. Just wondering that. I'm not sure if that's the case. And your centering thought is, I relax and allow my mind and body to be calm and collected. I'm able to process and create positive energy. And your affirmation, Janice, why is it so easy for me to release stress and stay positive? It's quite difficult to be positive when we're carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders and we're taking on board everyone else's issues. So boundaries are really, really important here. Okay, so that's yours. If you'd like to explore that further, just make a note down here and we'll connect. So Rashida, that really resonated. I have the ability to deal with the emotions it's holding back. Why is it? Fantastic, wonderful. Okay, hi Margie, Sunshine Coast. Okay, let me make sure. Oh, Angela from South Africa, welcome. I just love the South African accent. I have so many friends in South Africa. Okay, so let's draw a card for you. What time of day is it in South Africa? Angela, are you up late? Are you morning? Okay. I just want to go back to Janice for a minute. Haha, you might need cilantro. That I don't like. Okay. For those of you who don't know, cilantro and coriander are from the same plant. Cilantro is from the leaf, coriander is from the seed. Both can be used differently, have different chemistry involved in them. It's essential oils are so complex. They're amazing. So here we go for my friend in South Africa, Angela. You have lemon. I love lemon oil. The doTERRA lemon oil is just like you've ever been squeezing lemons and a bit of the skin, like a bit escapes and gets in the eye, not the juice. And it's actually the essential oil that's coming out of the skin. So lemon is a wonderful oil. If you think about it on a physical level, it's very cleansing, and we often use it in our benchtop sprays because of the antibacterial qualities and things like that. Lemon is amazing for getting rid of sticky labels, just saying. But think about it on an emotional level, how it can actually clear away any gunk. Maybe you've got some gunk building up. Maybe you're feeling a little bit lacking in focus. Maybe there's some fog, an inner fog in there that's maybe stopping you from seeing what it is that you need to see. Lemon will just help you clear that away. So it's like clearing the windscreen and helping you to see. And so often with lemon, we find people use it for focus and clarity on a like a mental aspect. So it's a great study buddy for our kids or anyone who's studying. Team it up with peppermint. It's a fantastic combination for study because you've got focus and clarity with lemon, you've got memory and cognitive function support with peppermint. But coming back to you, so maybe you're just feeling a bit foggy at the moment, and that's going to help clear that for you, Angela. And just it's also quite an energizing oil. I love adding it to my water for flavoring, and it's full of limonene, which supports your glutathione production. So it's great on a physical level. So you're getting it all here. You're getting it all. So maybe you just need a little bit of energizing. Maybe you're feeling a little bit flat at the moment. I'm not sure. Maybe you could just give me a little note if we're heading on the right direction here. And your centering thought, hi Tammy, your centering thought is, I'm confident in my capabilities. I create joy as I release the thoughts that weigh me down. My friends, so often we are carrying other people's baggage. We are allowing other people's stuff to cloud our vision. And that doesn't mean we have to be selfish, but I often go back to flying. I love flying and visiting countries and traveling and doing all those amazing things. And, you know, I can't tell you how many of those safety talks I've heard, but they always say, put your safety mask, put your oxygen mask on first. And I think we all need to do that. The better we can become, the more care we take of ourselves, the better we can be for other people and the more we can take care of others. But if we are constantly weighing ourselves down with other people's stuff, it's very difficult to do that. Angela, oh, it's 2 a.m. Okay, so Angela, your affirmation, this is a question for you to ask yourself, why is it so easy for me to create joy? And I hope that helps. But again, if you want to explore that further, just you know, let me know. I'll go back through the chats later, and I'll contact you personally on Facebook, and we can take it further. I offer these oily explorations totally free because I'm passionate about making a difference in your lives. And so what we do in that is that I just get to know you and I ask questions and you share with me, and then I'll make some oily suggestions. And then if you like what I say and you don't already have access to these beautiful doTERRA oils that are just so pure, so potent, and come from such a beautiful heart base, well, I can show you how to get them at the same price as I do, because we just want you to have this abundant, beautiful oil collection, as many or as little as you want in your life, and to bring about these amazing changes. Angela, okay. So I'm hoping that gives you some insight. So we've got Jenny from London. Hello. I had some wonderful times in London in my early, what was I, 21 when I traveled the world. So I spent a lot of lovely time in London. So wonderful memories. And this is the thing, guys, you know, it's really good to have your happy memories stash. And this is where journaling is really important. I love using the oils as aromatic anchors. And so if you go onto my website, Sense of Empowerment, it's spelled SCENT, it's actually in the chat there, senseofempowerment.com.au, I've got an aromatic anchoring page where I've just made up some blends and some affirmations to go with them. And so when you actually inhale, we call these your personal diffuser. Pop a drop of oil on the heel of your hands, rub it, cup your fingers around your nose, and inhale. As you're reciting your affirmation, you're aromatically anchoring it in. So the same thing if you are actually journaling, and it doesn't have to be journaling for today. Maybe you're just journaling happy memories and going back into the archives of what really made you sing, what really made you joyous, and you're creating some blends or just using an oil for that happy time. Maybe even sprinkle a bit across your journal, and so that when you maybe are feeling times of lowness, disappointment, whatever it is, you can go back to your happy journal and those oils, put on those same oils and start getting yourself into a state of awareness and happiness and joy, and start to really believe and realize that you can live each day in whatever state you want. I'm reading a really interesting book at the moment. Well, actually, I'm listening to it on Audible, and it's called How to Think Like a Roman Emperor. Might sound a bit deep, but it's fascinating. It's based on the life of Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics and how they thought. And one of the points that really resonated with me was that we assign value judgments to things. So, for instance, I have some structural pain that I live with, and I can go, oh, my back's aching. Oh, I'll never get through the day. Oh, my God, this is just terrible. You know, I'll never be able to do that, blah, blah, blah. I've assigned all these value judgments, and really the fact was just, I have pain. Move on, deal with it, do what you have to do with it. But when we put these value judgments on something, it's almost like making it a fixed, and it grows and it grows. And one of the statements he made in there was, you know, why add a second story to your misery? Like, why are we adding all these extra stories on the building? So I found that really empowering to think my thoughts can control my life. And I'm a strong believer in that. So when I have pain, yep, it's painful. I put on my Ice Blue, which is just a beautiful, soothing blend of oils. And that helps me move forward. And I use those regularly, and I change my thoughts, and I get through life. So anyway, it's not about me, where I'm up to. I was my friend in London. Where are you? Jenny, I think I'm up to Jenny. I hope so. Someone tell me if I'm not. Keep me on track. Jenny, you have picked a tree oil, Arbor Vitae. and I just adore trees. Some of you who have been on here with me for the last few weeks will know you're probably sounding like a broken record, but I love trees. I believe that nature speaks to us when we are still and when we open our ears and we listen and we use our senses to feel into what those messages are. What is that saying to us? And whenever we look at trees, and the arbor vitae is a beautiful red cedar wood that grows in Canada, and they grow to immense heights, and they live for, I think, some of them up to 800 years. And trees have their roots right down into the ground. So for me, I don't know whether you're feeling a little bit unsupported at the moment, whether you're feeling like you're a bit wavering, but think about the arbor vitae, strong, reaching up into the heavens, reaching up to your potential. Jenny, reaching up to your potential. Your feet are firmly on the ground. In fact, your roots, you can't see them. They're going deep, deep back into the wisdom of your ancestors. You are supported. You are supported. And, if we look at the tree like the arbor vitae tree, it can fall when it's had its time, and insects just don't touch it. It can lie there for decades untouched. So I think that maybe what this is saying to you, Jenny, is that, you are protected. You have an inner protection that you need to tap into. That's just my feeling. So let go. Arbor vitae is teaching us to let go of the struggle because we're protected. You're okay, Jenny. You're okay. Things might not be going so good for you right now, but you have what it takes. You have. You like trees too. There you go. There you go. And then it's about so much of what nature says to us, I think, in the universe, and whether you believe in God, Buddha, Jesus, Allah, universe, source, all respect. Just believe, and that we are guided. We have a force of goodness out there that is supporting us. So know that, Jenny. And then your centering thought is, I have the courage to release the need to control all aspects of my life. I lean into trust. So maybe you've gone through some stuff where you've found, that old saying, if it is to be, it's up to me. There's a lot of value in that, but there's also, we can be too controlling. And that sometimes we just need to let go and allow the universe to guide us, to go with the flow and flow in the way that we want to flow. So we do have control, but not total control. And then, why is it so easy, Jenny? Why is it so easy for me to live my life with ease and grace? I find those words so powerful. And like all of you, I'm sure, I fall off the wagon. I forget. I have my little moments where it's like, but then I have to remember. I remember my teachings. I remember my learnings, and just to be still, come back to my senses, and then start to listen and to feel into what my inner wisdom is telling me. So that is the arbor vitae for you. So if anyone else wants a card, please let me know. Okay, so the other thing that I thought, sometimes we're talking about the wisdom of the trees, is sometimes we're held back, where we're maybe not, we're not living the way we want to live, maybe because we've been taught a certain way. And that's okay, because I look at our forebears as they're working with what they knew. And I want to tell you a funny little story here. You may have heard this, and I don't know if it's true, but it's a great story. There was this woman who was preparing the roast for dinner, and her husband was watching her, and she cut off both ends, and she put them in the bin, and she put it in the pan, and she put it in the oven. And he said to her, "Why did you do that?" And she went, "Oh, I don't know. That's what Mum did, and she taught me how to do that." So I'll ring Mum. So she rang Mum, and Mum went, "Oh, I don't know. That's what your grandma used to do. I'll ring her and ask." So she rang Grandma and said, "Mum, why did you used to cut the ends off what's the reason for that again? Why do you always cut the ends off the roast before you put it in the oven?" And her mother said, "Oh, that's because it didn't fit in the pan." And what I'm trying to say is that so often we follow what we think is right just because that's what's done. And the person before us is just teaching from a platform of what they know. So I think this is where we need to look at what feels right for us. What is sitting right for us in our life right now? And if it's not, ask questions. Questions are king. And sometimes it's a matter of coming to our senses, being still, and then just going into our own inner wisdom and finding out what those answers are. So a couple of oils I want to suggest for you there. A Douglas fir, and I think I have the card here for Douglas fir that I wanted to share with you. So with Douglas fir, it's going to help us to just deal with any generational issues that we may have carried forward. It's going to help us to maybe release some of the burdens of the expectations of the past, or like some people have grown up saying, well, you do not stand out in the crowd, just fly under the radar, be super humble. And that doesn't always serve us, as I pointed out in the very beginning. And so what it is with Douglas fir is just helping us to learn from the past, to maybe take what doesn't serve us now and release it with love. Always release with love, my friends. We never, ever want to send anything out with anything else, because it comes back. And so what we're looking for with Douglas fir in this situation is just helping us to see that we have the courage to be a change maker, that we don't just have to keep repeating patterns that don't serve us, and that we can create change within our own families. The other oil that I love for a time like this is Siberian fir. And again, because I love trees, but the wisdom of trees, and I think Siberian fir particularly, it's helping us to have that honest appraisal of ourselves, that honest appraisal of digging deep, peeling those onions, or if you want to talk of it in like tree terms, how trees, you can see the growth rings to see how old they are. But just getting a different perspective of what's going on in our life. And I remember reading once about, with a lot of the fir trees, it's where the animals come in at night and camp under the fir trees. And it's almost like they are re-energized by the fir tree. And so, I think we can bring in some of these fir oils into our life to actually help us, reassess and recalibrate how we want to live our lives. So that's a couple of extra oils for you. So does anyone else want a card? Let me just check. Okay, so remember to pop any comments if you've got any emotions or anything else that you want to talk about. I want to just touch on journaling a bit more for a moment. Some of you may be aware that, I'm operating this show through the Spiritual Events Directory, thanks to Sarah, who's a wonderful friend and entrepreneur. And Sarah and Kathy have a company called Sync Media, who produce tools and like decks of cards and books, etc. And they have just created this journal, a spiritual events journal. And so the idea is we have 12 contributors, and I'm very blessed to be one of them, along with my daughter, who'll be, and each person is actually teaching you a different way of journaling, because let's face it, we're not all the same. We can't all, relate to the same things. And so my journaling method is come to your senses, where we are activating all of the senses, and we're bringing in the oils for the particular moods, etc. And you're going to use those each day. My daughter's is about fitness and wellness, and so bringing in questions and aspects that you can use to work on your physical body. And there are 10 other amazing contributors that will be sharing their ways, from astrology to meditation to all sorts of amazing things. So hop onto the Spiritual Events Directory page and just search for that, because Sarah has been promoting that. You can get it in pre-order. I think the release is around the end of next month of November. But get in and get some of those great pre-release deals. But with journaling, it's so important that you find a way to get out what it is that you are holding on to. It can be good. It can be things that are holding you back. Whatever the case, find your tool that works for you. And it can be a great, particularly when you're journaling, if you had journals for your happy times or your memories, wouldn't that be a great heirloom to hand down to your following generations? So the other thing that I'd love to ask you to do is hop onto my Sense of Empowerment Facebook page. You can connect with me there. Send me a message, or just find me, Leonie Featherstone, on my private page. I love connecting whichever way you like. I just love connecting. And if I can be of service, I'd love to be of service to you. What were some of the other things? The other technique, because I believe we need a toolkit for dealing with our emotions in life, is I use a technique called Ollie the Octopus, and it's simply a brainstorming tool. And it's simply you draw a circle in the middle of the page with lots of legs going off. And so if you are dealing with a particular emotion, let's say disappointment, and we put disappointment in the middle of that page, then just ask yourself, why am I feeling disappointed? Or just listen to the emotions or the feelings that pop up. Note the part of your body where you're feeling that. Jot that down as well. And that sort of like becomes your brainstorming tool to peel those onions and to get deep. And then what you can do when you've identified those, that's when it's really handy for us to have a conversation, because I can then help you with more specific oils to support that process. And remember that oils are just one part of the process. There's journaling, there's prayer, there's meditation, there's outside healings, there's amazing people and tools that you can pop into your toolkit. But I particularly love the holistic application of these oils, and I particularly feel very blessed to work with doTERRA essential oils because of the integrity behind the company. That's something that's very strong for me. The fact that we support the growers all over the world and are creating change in their lives by creating a market. We've created a market for them so that they can know they can just keep growing and have that ongoing stream of income that allows them to send their children to school, to have good water supplies, etc. Things that so often us in our countries just take for granted. So I feel really blessed to be able to do that. And so the more I can educate you on essential oils, and the more you use essential oils, the more change we can bring about in the lives of people on the other side of the world. I like to leave you with a blend for this particular topic. And when I'm talking about disappointment, I think so often we can be harsh on ourselves. And so I want to talk to you about one of our other emotional blends, which is forgive. And this is the oil of renewal. And so often we externalize, we think, oh, I need to forgive other people. But really, so often we need to forgive ourselves as well, because we are just human beings having an experience, or, we're just beings having a human experience. And we don't always know, we don't always get it right. And unless we're intentionally doing it wrong, that's a different story. But, let's be gentle on ourselves and forgive ourselves. And I like to look at the different oils in forgive. And there's bergamot, which is the oil of self-assurance. So it's just giving us that little bit of a hug. You've got juniper berry in there, the oil of night, which is just helping us to maybe look at those other shadow sides of ourselves and maybe to dig a little bit deep and face those fears, whatever it is, and bring them to the light. So we're seeing that contrast between light and dark. We've got thyme in there, thyme oil, which is about releasing everything that doesn't serve us and just, offering ourselves some forgiveness. And so there's also myrrh in there, which is, really just helping us to connect to that mothering, nurturing love. Maybe some of you haven't had that. I feel really blessed to have had the most amazing mother. Miss her every day, but I feel so connected with her in the last 10 years since she passed over. And she was my guidehouse, continues to be my lighthouse. And I feel really blessed that I had that really strong mother-daughter connection. But myrrh in here is a beautiful one if we are feeling the need for that mothering, nurturing love. And let's face it, we could all turn some of that inwards at times because we are so good at doing things for other people and not taking care of ourselves. And so the reason I put forgive in here is because, when we are disappointed, sometimes we're being too hard on ourselves. Maybe we've set really high expectations. And I'm a bit of a high achiever and I love aiming high, but we need to be gentle with ourselves if we don't get there and just look for the lessons of why not and work through that. And so forgive is a beautiful oil. The great thing about the emotional aromatherapy kit, the 6 oils that just about cover all of the emotions, it's a great place to start if you're not sure, you don't know much about essential oils. And being diluted in fractionated coconut oil, it's just so easy to rub a little bit on and you're good to go, really, because we use our oils in so many different ways. We diffuse them. That's a great way to have that holistic experience, because you're breathing in and out and you're taking it in all the time. And then we use them topically, and I use them in my food and in my flavoring, my water, etc. as well. But my little affirmation to go with that, if you remember, I was talking about aromatic anchoring. And if you want some hints for blends and affirmations, go to my page, senseofempowerment.com.au, and there's a section under the essential oils tab on aromatic anchoring. But make up an affirmation that is meaningful to you. These are just my words. So when I'm using forgive and inhaling it, I could say something like, I let go of all that doesn't serve me. Healing and wisdom are filling my heart. And I think it's really important that we understand that in order to bring in all the abundance, all the wisdom, all the healing, all the love, we need to make room. We need to make room. So we need to release that which doesn't serve us. We need to identify it first. And that's why my Ollie the Octopus exercise, or peeling the onion, whatever you want to do, these are the sort of processes I can take you through to help you get to the core of what it is that's holding you back. What are those limiting beliefs that are stopping you from being empowered and moving forward in this world and being the amazing, blossoming being that you were put on earth to be? I mean, life wasn't meant to be suffering. Life, we have parts that will happen for sure, but it's meant to be more joy than suffering. And again, if you can think about those little tips I've put in there about let's not build another story on our house of misery. Let's stop assigning value judgments to things. Let's be mindful of the value judgments we assign to various things that happen in life. And if we can treat them factually, it can help us deal with them. And please don't think I'm coming from a place of I do that all the time. I do not. I still struggle with various things that go on. But what I have found is by, tapping into the amazing mentors that are out there, and the books and the resources and the healers, and I tap into all of this because I don't have it all. And I want to be able to grab onto that so then I can pass it on to people like you guys. And so does anyone want another card before I leave? I'm not sure if I'm seeing your messages. I'm having a bit of trouble here this morning, but I'm sorry if I've missed you. If I have, just send me a message and we will go into that. I think there was a couple of other oils I mentioned. I don't know if I mentioned actually one I wanted to mention to you. I've got some notes here. Cassia. Cassia is an oil that you may not come across very often. It's related to cinnamon, so it's kind of like a bit of a cousin. And cassia is it's an oil that can help us with our self-belief. So again, it's just assuring us that, we are an amazing human being. We need to believe in ourselves. And so it's going to help to let go of any feelings of lack of worth. If you're suffering any sort of feelings of humiliation, that's going to be a good oil as well. So cassia, lavender, as I mentioned, the duvet, the doona, some of us call it, depending on what part of the world you're in. There's some other oils as well. So my friends, I'm going to wrap this up now, but thank you so much for joining me today. I'm here to serve. Please let me know how I can do that. Touch base. I'll go back through the messages and reconnect with you. Hop onto the Spiritual Events Directory page, check out that journal. It can be a great resource to pop into your toolkit to help you. And I look forward to being of service to you next week, same time. Oh, next week, I've actually got a special guest. This is exciting. One of my besties and my colleagues, Barrett Monroe, is coming on. Now, I talk about the wisdom of the essential oils, and I talk a lot about the emotions. The physical side, I have to be a little bit mindful on air because I find it really hard to talk compliantly. I know that oils will do amazing things, but obviously we have to be very mindful of what we say. So that's why I like to take things and do it individually. I can be much more personal and much more open. But Barrett is a scientist and she has a passion for essential oils. And when we look at the wisdom of the essential oils and their chemistry, it's so powerful to understand why that then affects us on a physical and an emotional and a psychological level. So Barrett's coming in and we're just going to chat all things oils. She'll bring in that scientific side of it, but we'll still do exactly what we're doing today. So that's something for you to look forward to. And Barrett's very passionate about gut health. And any of you who know anything about gut health know that is such a fabulous place to start when our emotions are out of whack, because there are so many neurotransmitters in there that are affecting our whole body chemistry and our moods and our emotions. So do not miss next week. It's going to be great. So thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'll pop back in here and answer the chat, and I look forward to seeing you next week as you join Barrett and I for Sense of Empowerment, sharing the wisdom of essential oils. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.